shake, shake, Sinora, shake your body line. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora, work your body line. Work, 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 Sinora, work it all the time. My girl's name is Sonora. I tell you, friends, I adore her. And when she dances, oh brother, she's a hurricane in all kinds of weather. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body on time. Whoop. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body line. Whoop. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora, work your body line. Work, 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 Sinora, work it all the time. You can talk about cha-cha, tango, waltz or the rumba. Sinora's dance has no title. You jump in the saddle, hold on to the bridle. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you, jump in the line, rock your body. Rock your body, child. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Somebody help me. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Whoop. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body line. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time. Work, 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 Sinora, work your body line. Yeah. Work, 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 Sinora, work it all the time. Sinora, she's a sensation. The reason for...
Hello, my name is Lotta and I'm the data protection person at our department. There will be a photographer here, and we are also broadcasting this, so we have some movie men out there as well. Yes, and hello everyone watching the live stream. Hello to you, hey, hey. Yes, okay, let me introduce Professor of Mathematics, Kalle Åström.
As you have heard, my name is Kalle Åström, and I'm a math professor at Lund University. I have been asked to give the safety speech, and I will. What is important here is that you find the nearest emergency exit. There are several. They may be behind you. What is also important is that when you throw your paper airplanes later or paper helicopters, that you are very, very careful. Safety first. Thank you.
And now you can continue, because a big round of applause for the student choir Ostro Chorus.
I Sverige mörkrets krafter kämpar mot vår nedärvda snapskultur. Mot människans vilse krafter är ett integritetens hot. En bitter frukt som snabbt sätter frö och rot. Att måttligt njuta av mat samt öl och nummer är en mänsklig rättighet, det kan ej svinn. Låt oss dricka för friheten en skål. Strunt i statsförbud och monopol. Låt oss dricka för friheten en skål. Strunt i statsförbud och monopol.
Thank you, Ostrokorus. I actually used to sing in this choir. Aren't they good? Okay, now it's time to welcome those very two important persons. You know that they are very important because they have very long titles. And they are going to hold the welcome speech. So please, on stage, let me see here. It's Björn Lundberg. Wait for it. Associate Professor of History and member of the Young Academy of Sweden. And Kerstin Enflo, Professor of Economic History at Lund University. And a member in the Committee for the Economic Prize in memory of Alfred Nobel.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. I feel very welcomed. Do you? Yeah, good, good. Yeah, you might think that I have the coolest hat here on Lund University. It's pink and it's got a wiener dog on it, but I know someone who's got an even cooler hat, the most stylish hat at campus, and that person is Vice Chancellor Erik Renström.
So, warm welcome to Lund. As you see, we are very eloquent in speech, and we always have something intelligent to tell the world. Well, here I am in full regalia, and before this little opening speech, we had a big debate. It turned out to be one of Hamlet, to be or not to be, of course referring to the hat. And the advocates for the hat won because it's quite funny to watch, but exceedingly beautiful. So when we were asked to host this tour stop, it didn't take many moments until we happily accepted. What Ig Nobel stands for, that human honor achievements that first make people laugh and then make them think resonates very well with Lund University, which is the only university in Sweden, perhaps in the world, that has humor as one of our mottos. I'm sure it has been a competitive advantage because researchers from Lund University have been repeatedly honored with this prize. Most times in Sweden, probably most times in Europe, and perhaps in the entire world. The great thing, though, is that our researchers who have been awarded obviously have humorous qualities, but also conduct research of the highest caliber. Humor is therefore something that is at the same time very fun, but also should be taken very seriously. The physiology of laughter is quite complicated and frankly quite odd. It can be described as this. It's a spontaneous process. One cannot laugh purposely. It is characterized by a series of rapid exhalations, inhalations, together with rhythmically alternating tense and relaxed vocal cords that together give rise to a characteristic sound, often as the consequence of humor. Laughter improves health. For me as a diabetes researcher, it's particularly interesting that laughter lowers blood glucose, but it also reduces pain sensitivity, and it's a dieting cure. A quarter of a laugh can burn as many as 40 kilocalories. There are calculations suggesting that if you have a bout of laughter every day for a year, it will reduce your fat mass by 2 kilograms. So, free and completely without side effects, without enriching Novo Nordisk stakeholders or the Danish state, which we like. So, why do we laugh? It is still debated, but laughter is, in addition to an excellent self-medication, an unparalleled way to create a sense of community across all boundaries such as age, language, religion, and nationality. It's therefore a great honor for me to welcome the next speaker, the founder of Ig Nobel. And we have a substitute here ready. Yes, Mark is not here, but, oh, yes, oh, you are there. Great, great, lovely. Lovely to see you. Yes. So what you have done to popularize science and to communicate it to a wide audience is surpassed only by the sense of togetherness you have created among scientists and an interested wide audience, as we can see here. Please welcome Mark.
Okay, good. Okay. And now for the serious part of the program. And perhaps some slides. I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures. We're going to have several talks today. I will do the longest one now. It'll be 25 minutes long. We have several living Ig Nobel Prize winners here who will each do a 5-minute talk later. And as you will see, we have a method to make sure that each speech finishes on time. Those of you sitting here not watching can probably guess at what that is, but you'll see for sure in a bit. All set, Case? Great, thank you. All right. This picture is, there are two main people here that you can see. One is a human, the other is a goat. This is the person won an Ig Nobel Prize several years ago because he was determined to try to learn what it's like to live life as a goat, with goats. So he teamed up with some veterinarians and with quite a few other people who know a lot about goats. He extended his arms and legs, as you can see, and did other things to his body. And then he arranged to live with a herd of goats on a mountainside in Switzerland. That's what you're seeing. And I hope you believe, you feel that this deserves some kind of prize. and that's what it got. It got an Ig Nobel Prize. Here he is at the Ig Nobel Prize ceremony. We have a big ceremony that for 35 years has happened every year in the US. I'll tell you a little bit about that. Here he is coming to collect his prize. And I'm going to talk about Improbable Research, which is the name of our magazine and our organization, and the Ig Nobel Prizes. You can see our logo, which may or may not explain itself. It's all about things that are surprising. We collect things and people that are so surprising that they make people laugh and then think. If we choose well, then the winners of each prize will make anyone, anywhere in the world, no matter what their background, start laughing, and a week later, they're still thinking about it. They want to tell their friends. That's what the prize is about. All right, first, a quick look at some of the winners. There have been 10 a year for 35 years, so 350 prizes have been awarded, including quite a large number here. I want to thank everybody at Lund University for being such splendid producers of Ig Nobel Prize winners. This is the first page of a study in a medical journal. You can see the title is Failure of Electric Shock Treatment for Rattlesnake Envenomation. This was written by two doctors about a patient. The patient had a pet rattlesnake, and he knew it's dangerous to have a pet rattlesnake. So he had studied what to do in case the snake ever bites him. He chose to do all of his studying in men's magazines rather than medical journals or even asking anybody. So everything he learned from men's magazines. And what he learned is if you are ever bitten by a rattlesnake, the way to save your life is to pass an electric current through your body at the spot where you were bitten. So he and his pet rattlesnake and his friend got in his Jeep and went out into the desert in Arizona in the USA. And the snake bit him on the lip, at which point he instructed his friend to follow instructions as studied. So the friend went and got the Jeep, brought the Jeep over, got some electrical cables, hooked up one end of the electrical cables to the battery in the Jeep and the other end to his friend's lip, and revved the engine up to 5,000 RPM for 3 minutes. And this is what happened. Okay. 2 doctors saved his life. He was helicoptered in, and they were so amused that they wrote this up in a medical journal. And the 3 of them won a prize. This is another winner of the medical prize from a different year. You can see this medical study is called Acute Management of the Zipper-Entrapped Penis. Is there anyone here who is confused by the technical language and needs an explanation? Could you turn to somebody near you and is there somebody who could explain? Don't demonstrate. No, just, okay. That's satisfactory? Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Well, enough said about that one. This is a paper that won the Ig Nobel Physics Prize one year. It's called Will Humans Swim Faster or Slower in Syrup? This is an old question that had never been resolved among physicists and chemists. If somebody swims in thick syrup rather than in water, on the one hand, you can see that they have to push harder to get through it, but on the other hand, they're pushing harder against where they're coming from. Nobody knew, so this was tested at the University of Minnesota. They got permission to drain the water from a big swimming pool and fill it with thick syrup. They had an Olympic-class swimmer, and they had him swim several times. This is what it looked like. And what they found was it's exactly the same. All of these things, you can go and look at the paper and see the detail. I'm just giving you the very short version, especially if you like the math and physics of something like this. The details are really worth savoring. This is a paper, another medical paper. This won the Ig Nobel Medicine Prize. You can see the title is Termination of Intractable Hiccups with Digital Rectal Massage. Again, is there anyone who needs some guidance on the technical language here? I'm sure you're okay, yeah. Now, you may think that this is something that's a one-time thing and only one person in one place ever thought of it. Not so. 2 different groups in different parts of the world published papers at about the same time with the same title. And they say it works. So if you have a friend who has hiccups that continue for days and days and days, and nothing else works, you have one more method to try. Here's another paper that won an Ig Nobel Physics Prize. It's called Walking with Coffee. Why does it spill? This is about the physics of what happens. I expect almost everyone here has experienced this. You take a full cup of liquid, hold it out, and walk normally. What happens? It spills, usually. This paper explains that it's almost inevitable. It's very difficult to avoid that. It's not you, or not just you. Even if you're a ballet dancer, you're going to spill the coffee. And there are things you can do to keep that from happening. Is anybody here, or has anyone here worked as a waiter in a restaurant? Do you have your own method for keeping liquids from spilling? Anybody like to stand up and just in a sentence or two give your own method? Yeah, just shout it. The prayer method is not accepted by all authorities. All right. Well, best thing might be next time you go to a restaurant, watch the waiters, see who's carrying liquids like that, ask them how they do it and how they learned that. After this was published, it got a lot of press attention around the world. All the Ig Nobel Prizes do. In South Korea, there was a high school student who read about it, got so excited, he decided to do his own experiment to see what happens when you hold a cup of coffee extended in your arm and you walk backwards. He wanted to know, is the physics the same? And it's not. If you compare the headlines, his headline was a study on the coffee spilling phenomena in the low impulse regime. You can see what high school students would typically do, which is try to impress people with the words, whereas the physicists just said, walking with coffee. Why does it spill? And here is the high school student who journeyed all the way to Harvard University to be in the ceremony, and he gave a demonstration on stage. This won the medical prize one year. It's called Sword Swallowing and Its Side Effects, published in the British Medical Journal. Two co-authors on this. One is a British doctor, gastroenterologist, I think, and the other is the president of the International Association of Professional Sword Swallowers. What they did was take a medical survey of all of the living professional sword swallowers about their medical history. Had they been injured? How had they been injured? They'd all been injured. Here's another this was a physics prize winner, I believe. This was done in New Zealand, but published in a medical journal. The title is Preventing Winter Falls, a randomized controlled trial of a novel intervention. If anyone here lives in a very hilly neighborhood, you know what this is about in the winter. This was done in a city that it gets very cold, it gets ice on the streets, and it has big hills. And there's a tradition in that city of people putting their socks on outside their boots rather than inside so they won't slip. So this was a test of that. They stopped people on their way to work and asked half of them to put the socks on the outside. And here's what it looks like. And they say they found pretty consistently you're safer with the socks on the outside. It's also embarrassing, so most people won't do it. The man in black here won an Ig Nobel Prize, Ig Nobel Peace Prize. He is the inventor of karaoke. Okay. He traveled from Japan, he is Japanese, to Harvard University, gave a 1-minute acceptance speech. We keep the speeches really short. And then at the ceremony, we not only have 10 winners from around the world, some of them are individuals, some are teams, but to present the prizes to them and shake their hand, we have a bunch of Nobel Prize winners. So what you're seeing here is 3 Nobel Prize winners who then stepped up behind him, put their arms around him, and sang a karaoke tribute to the inventor of karaoke. And what they sang was an old song you may know. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. All 1,200 people in the theater at Harvard immediately leaped to their feet and started screaming and singing and weeping along. It was, I believe, a unique moment in history. And by the way, after this, we heard from, I believe, about 100 different people, all of them in Japan, claiming that no, they are the inventor of karaoke. This seems to be one of those inventions that was invented around the same time by lots of different people. But this guy tends to get more credit than anyone else. All right. Some of you may have seen this drawing. It's from a patent granted in 1965 to George and Charlotte Blonsky, a married couple. They describe this as a device to assist a woman in giving birth. When the woman is ready to deliver her child, the thing is a large round table with some machinery underneath. When she's ready to give birth, she lies on her back on the table. They strap her down, and then the table is rotated at high speed, and the child comes flying out through centrifugal force. Okay. The patent is online. The writing is fully as intriguing as the drawing, and I would urge you to go track it down. Okay. We wrote an opera about it that we performed a few years later. This is the climactic moment of the opera. The video of that is online. All this online stuff is on our website at improbable.com. You can see video of nearly all of the prize ceremonies and links to all of the winners going back. This is the real inventors. This is George and Charlotte Blonsky who invented that. Okay. This was a posthumous prize. Their niece came and accepted on their behalf and told us they're very sweet people and who may have been a little confused about things. The paper you're looking at now won, I believe, the Peace Prize. Was it the Peace Prize case? This was done by a team of scientists in Switzerland. The title of their paper, you can see, is Are Full or Empty Beer Bottles Sturdier? And does the fracture threshold suffice to break the human skull? They were trying to answer a simple question. The question is it safer to be hit over the head with a full bottle of beer or to be hit over the head with an empty bottle of beer? They had a reason for asking. There were several cases in the court systems, in the legal system in Switzerland, and the answer to that question was going to have an effect on what happened in the proceedings. So what they say they found after elaborate testing was that a full bottle tends to break a little more quickly than an empty bottle. But they also found that it's really not safe to be hit over the head with a bottle of beer. The head of the team traveled from Switzerland to Harvard University, gave his acceptance speech, and then he reached into his jacket pocket, took out a bottle, and smashed it over his head. Okay, it was a theatrical bottle made of starch. I'll tell you a little bit about the ceremony and then about the most recent group of Ig Nobel Prize winners. September is when we have the ceremony. There is an actual Ig Nobel Prize. The design is different every year. It's always made from extremely cheap materials. We have a theme every year for the ceremony, not necessarily for the winners, but for the other things, opera and all that. And this was last year. Our theme was digestion. And you can see it's a drawing of a stomach that has two faces. Janus face, one happy, the other unhappy. And there is a physical tube with objects there. If you turn this upside down, those things go up and down the tube. That's what each winner got. This was taken a few years ago on stage. Almost everybody you see there is a Nobel Prize winner. They were handing out the prizes to people. There are also a few other random, interesting people. If you know of a mathematical concept called fractals, that's familiar to people, that was invented by a math professor named Benoit Mandelbrot. That's Mandelbrot with the white hair on the right. And the most important person here is none of the people I just described. The most important person is the little 8-year-old girl in the middle. Traditionally, the way we have made sure speeches are kept short and the whole event finishes on time is we recruit every year a very special 8-year-old girl. We look among the communities of parents and they tell us who this is. The kind of little girl who, when she's in a room where everyone else is an adult and there's just this little girl, the adults are behaving because of that little girl. She sits on stage during the whole ceremony, and whenever she feels somebody has talked long enough, she lets them know. She walks all the way across the stage up to the person who's talking, and she says, "Please stop. I'm bored. Please stop. I'm bored. Please stop. I'm bored. Please stop. I'm bored." She doesn't stop until they do. And it works. This was taken a couple years ago when the ceremony was at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's also in Cambridge, where I'm from. This is at the start of the ceremony. All the new winners, the winners are secret until we introduce them on stage. This is the moment when the new winners are led on stage. They're all holding to a tourist rope so they don't get lost. Here you see a different year of the little girl assisting somebody in finishing his acceptance speech. There's a tradition, which I hope you will become part of today. The audience brings paper and throws paper airplanes. If you have not experienced standing on a stage having 1,200 people throw paper airplanes at you, you have a great moment in life awaiting you. This is the end of another opera that I won't go into. A day or two after the ceremony, we have the winners all gather on stage in a different room and ask each other questions about their work and let the audience ask questions. And that's a whole different kind of thing, and it's kind of sweet and interesting. All right, a really quick look at the most recent Ig Nobel Prize winners. Gave a literature prize to the late Dr. William B. Bean, who persistently recorded and analyzed the rate of growth of one of his fingernails over a period of 35 years. That's Dr. Bean, and that's the fingernail. And this is one of his 5 or 6 papers. The chart shows the rate of growth over 35 years. One thing he discovered was whenever he was, or sometimes when he was ill, the growth slowed to almost 0. And then after he became well again, the growth started up. He died quite a while ago. His son came to the ceremony. His son is, I think, 83 years old and accepted very happily on behalf of his father and told us that his father made everyone in the family measure the rate of growth of their fingernails as well. This is the moment when he's collecting his Ig Nobel Prize. We gave a psychology prize to a team that investigated what happens when you tell narcissists or anyone else that they are intelligent. They wrote this paper called "Telling People They Are Intelligent Correlates with the Feeling of Narcissistic Uniqueness, the Influence of IQ Feedback on Temporary State Narcissism." Here they are collecting their prize. In their acceptance speech, they told the whole audience that you're very intelligent. We gave a nutrition prize to a team who studied the extent to which a certain kind of lizard chooses to eat certain kinds of pizza. They published this paper, Opportunistic Foraging Strategy of Rainbow Lizards. They only did it with this one species at a seaside resort in Togo. And they say that the lizards disliked some flavors, but really loved the 4-cheese pizza. Okay. This has yet to be investigated in other species of lizard. Here's one of the authors doing I know not what. We give a prize in the field of pediatrics. I should mention, we don't necessarily have the same categories every year. Unlike other prizes, we pick the winners first. And then for each of them, we try to figure out, is there some category that describes what these people did? This one we decided on pediatrics. You'll see this could have been many other things as well. They won for studying what a nursing baby experiences when the baby's mother eats garlic. Okay. And here's their paper, Maternal Diet Alters the Sensory Qualities of Human Milk and the Nursling's Behavior. Here they are finishing their speech. This year, the little girl could not make it to the ceremony, so because we needed someone to do that, we pressed somebody into service, and it wasn't quite as effective, but it got the job done, and we will never do that again. We gave a biology prize to a large team who did experiments to learn whether cows painted with zebra-like striping can avoid being bitten by flies. This built on earlier work that also won an Ig Nobel Prize, done by people in an entirely different part of the world. Okay, I think these pictures from the study give you some idea of how this worked. And here is that team collecting their prize. You can see the Eric, who are the Nobel laureate presenting it, decided to imitate the drawing that was part of the Ig Nobel Prize. Did a pretty good job. The winners, there were 4 of them. 3 of them dressed up as flies and were pestering the other one. And then the other one took off his suit jacket and had this zebra-striped thing to wild applause. We gave a chemistry prize this year to a team who did experiments to test whether eating Teflon, Teflon you may know is a form of plastic. It's more formally called polytetrafluoroethylene. So they did some tests about whether eating Teflon is a good way to increase food volume and hence satiety, the feeling of being full, without increasing calorie content. You could, if you want, describe this as this is the invention of the Teflon diet. Here's their paper, and here's one of the authors. We gave a Peace Prize to a team who showed that drinking alcohol sometimes improves a person's ability to speak in a foreign language. They called their paper Dutch Courage, Effects of Acute Alcohol Consumption on Self-Ratings and Observer Ratings of Foreign Language Skills. And here are 2 of the authors. We gave a prize in engineering design to 2 scientists in India who published their research. They analyzed from an engineering design perspective how foul-smelling shoes affect the good experience of using a shoe rack. Here's their paper called Smelly Shoes, an Opportunity for Shoe Rack Redesign. And here are the 2 co-authors. Gave an aviation prize to a team who studied bats. And I noticed that here you have teams who study bats, or at least one team as well. But as far as I know, they didn't study bats in quite this way. This prize went for studying whether ingesting alcohol can impair bats' ability to fly and also their ability to echolocate. And the answer is yes. Here's their paper. And here's one of the winners accepting his prize. I believe my time is nearly up, so I'll just tell you about the last of the winners, the 10th winner. The physics prize went to a team of, I think, 8 young Italian physicists who made some discoveries about the physics of pasta sauce, especially the phase transition that can lead to clumping, which can be a cause of unpleasantness. They published this paper called Phase Behavior of Cacio e Pepe Sauce. And they did a demonstration on stage, and they sang old Italian songs. And the first thing they did on stage was together to look at the audience and say, "Mama," because they brought their mothers from Italy. I think my time is up. So thank you, Bananas. Yeah. We have some music, we have some short talks by some Ig Nobel Prize winners, and we have things called 24/7 lectures, which are brief, which will come up in a little bit. Thanks.
Yeah, as Mark said, it's time for some music now. And now a part of the orchestra from the Lundaspexarna will entertain us now.
Now, is that any way to behave in a university? Our next speaker won an Ig Nobel Prize and through paper airplanes in 2014 for some work she will describe to you. She is coming to us today, has come to us today, from Liverpool, England, where she is a psychology professor. Please allow me to introduce Mina Lyons.
Hej på dig, Lund. I'm not going to try to speak more Swedish because I have not had alcohol yet. If I had 2 pints of lager, I probably would give this talk in Swedish, but let's not. So before we start, I would like to know a little bit about you guys in the audience. Do we have any night owls? Put your hand up if you are a night person. Ooh, quite a few. Okay, do we have any psychopaths? Put your hand up if you are a psychopath. A few. And I think we also have a few night owls who are psychopaths. But not every night owl is a psychopath, and not every psychopath is a night owl. So actually that's a conclusion to my talk. So I might as well finish now. No. Okay, I'll carry on and tell you a little bit more about this Ig Nobel Prize because it changed my life. It's by far the biggest academic achievement that I have had, especially in my home country. Can anybody guess where I might be from? The name, rally driver accent, Marimekko uniform. Yes, I am from Finland. And in the suburbs of Helsinki, I have a grandmother who is 103 years old, and she thought that I won a Nobel Prize. And she was telling everybody that my granddaughter is a Nobel Prize winner. So I got very famous in that suburb of Helsinki. And also, I was interviewed a few years ago to a prestigious science journal called The Nature. And that's probably the only time that I'll ever have my name in this journal. And I was telling about how the Ig Nobel changed my life. So it really is a huge deal in the academic world to get this Ig Nobel Prize. Okay, so then the study itself has got a bit of a backstory to it. So some years ago, actually quite a long time ago now, I had an undergraduate student called Amy Jones. And Amy was thinking of what she should do for her dissertation research. And she came to talk with me, and as she is a keen observer of human life, and also as she went out to party quite a lot, there's actually Amy in the middle in the lederhosen type of outfit partying in the nightlife of Liverpool. And she had made this observation that often there are a bit shady characters lurking outside of the nightclubs, waiting to take advantage of intoxicated students. So then we thought that maybe we could investigate the personality traits of night owls and see what happens. So what we did was that we gave online participants a questionnaire where we asked about their predisposition to stay up late or go to bed early and the time of the day when they feel most active. And this is also called chronotypes or morningness, eveningness. And it's quite a stable character throughout people's lives. So there are some fluctuations, but it's relatively stable. And then I thought, well, are there any famous examples of these night owls who are evening chronotypes? I could find Elon Musk. Also, there's this orange faced person in the United States who is a night owl. Vladimir Putin is one of them. So then that kind of confirmed some of the hypotheses that we had in the research anyway. No time for that. Okay, so then there is a personality constellation that is called the Dark Triad. Has anybody ever heard about the Dark Triad of personality? I can see a few hands going up. So it's also called DT in the personality psychology world. And it's about personality traits of Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. Oh my God, the bananas are coming. And also, so what we found was basically that people who are higher in these dark triad traits, they are also more likely to have the predisposition to stay up later. And also what I started doing after this was to to look for quotes. It's not, they've actually blocked me. I can't show you any more slides, but basically there is a correlation between psychopathy and night owls. Thank you, bananas. Thank you. Five minutes, so short.
Thank you, Minna. I'm an early bird, yay! We can't get enough of Lundaspexarna, right? Yay! So, once more, Lundaspexarna!
And now for, I believe, the first time ever in Lund, and perhaps in Sweden, and perhaps in Scandinavia, we're going to have some 24/7 lectures. This kind of lecture is a featured part of the Ig Nobel Prize ceremony. We have usually 4 or 5 people do these. Some of them are quite famous scientists and some are not so famous. Each of them chooses a topic and then does 2 very short lectures. First, a complete technical description of the idea in 24 seconds. And the time limit is enforced by a referee. Would our referee please come up here and take your place next to the microphone? Thank you. And then the lecturer gives a second lecture, a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. And the referee also will enforce that time limit. Okay. Our first lecturer is Kajsa Gullberg, whose name I'm sure I'm doing horrible things to, whose topic is general linguistics, psycholinguistics, and writing processes. And Here's how it works. I will cue you. I'll say it now just to give everybody an idea how it works. So first I will say a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go, and you go. And then for the next one I'll say, and now a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go. Okay? Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
Should I be closer to the microphone?
It's always a good idea.
Yeah. Or should I hold the microphone?
Do as you wish.
Do as you wish. You can get on the other side of the microphone if you like. Okay.
That's not going to help.
Okay. Can everyone hear her? Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. So first, complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
When retelling events in writing, we continuously plan what to write next while monitoring what we have written. This process relies on our limited working memory, and when working memory is overloaded, we can, for example, slow down or pause our production to regain momentum. More complex tasks have been shown to lead more pauses, and if we lie during writing, this leads to increased pausing, suggesting that writing lies is indeed a cognitively demanding task.
Yeah. And now a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Writing lies requires more time to think.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have 3 lecturers. The second 24/7 lecturer is Cedric Dicko. Cedric Dicko's topic is how proteins become materials. Are you all set? Okay. All right. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
So protein, usually we think of them as food, but protein can also become materials. And I spend my time looking at silk and trying to figure out how they become strong fibers. And eventually we will become the next sustainable materials.
Hey. And now an even clearer summary in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Same protein, soup, fiber, or strong material.
Our final 24/7 lecturer is Kiki Lindell Tersmeden. Her topic, taking the ache out of Shakespeare in education. First, a complete technical description of the subject in 24 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
In my research, I use my Shakespeare students as guinea pigs. Their oral exam is performing an abridged Shakespeare play in English, in costume, before an audience. I've found that learning by acting gives them improved language skills, a deeper understanding of the text and characters, and it replaces reverence and fear with liberating ownership and genuine love of Shakespeare.
And now a clear summary that anyone can understand in 7 words. On your mark, get set, go.
Staging Shakespeare improves learning and student ownership. Simple as that.
Wonderful. Thank you, 24/7 lecturers. And now a bit more music.
Yes, time for more music now. Are you guys ready? Now Albin Rickman is going to come here to play some music. I think that he will play the kazoo or something.
Thank you. Thank you. There we go. The spirit of the Ig Nobel is all about playfulness and curiosity, isn't it? My name is Albin Rickman, as an alumnus from the Lund University Music Academy. This is what I've learned for 5 years of a master degree in music. Pretty impressive, right? Well spent, pretty good. Okay, so actually, Lund University, as you can tell, is not only a place of Nobel Prizes and world-class research. It's also a place of fun, and discovery, with just the Luna Carnival around the corner and everything that's blooming outside. So, actually, in that spirit of joy and playfulness, I'll perform a short medley of Hit the Road Jack at September. But actually, this is of course not the thing. I'm just gonna put it here, right here, and I'm gonna pick up a real instrument, and I'll be back in a few seconds.
Jack, 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 hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. No more, no more, no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more, no more, no more.
Okay, bananas, prepare for another 5-minute talk. Our next talk is by a pair of Ig Nobel Prize winners who worked together with their larger team to win an Ig Nobel Prize. They are biologists. They are particularly concerned with one kind of animal. I am hoping they brought one of them with them tonight. Did you perhaps? We'll find out. Please welcome Marie Dacca, Eric Warrant.
There was supposed to be some sound.
It's coming. That's better because the bananas may get us.
Yeah. No sound? Okay, we'll do it in silence then, Eric, okay?
Okay.
Animals are master navigators, traveling from near and far, reliably steering from one place to another. Consider, for example, the South African dung beetles. These insects steer their dung balls in straight tracks across the savanna. During the day, they rely on the sun to steer their tracks. And this solar compass is housed deep inside its brain, where a network of thousands of neurons work together to analyze the exact position of the sun.
But if we take the sun away by giving them little hats to wear that blocks out the view of the sky, their ability to roll their balls of dung in straight lines disappears. Amazingly, they roll around in circles. They've lost their view of the sun. Amazingly, though, at night, dung beetles instead rely on a moon compass. But what happens on a moonless night when the sky is full of stars? Physics tells us that the eyes of dung beetles are far too small to see more than just a few of the absolute brightest stars in the sky. So, is it actually possible for dung beetles to use these stars to roll balls of dung in a straight line?
Well, birds are well known to be able to use the starry skies to travel to distant worlds, and some seals can also use the stars to navigate their trips over the oceans. But what about the beetles? Well, to our surprise, we found that if released under a starry sky, the beetles continued to steer straight. Here you see some of their tracks traveled under the starry sky.
Again, though, if we supplied the dung beetles with little hats that blocked out their view of the starry night sky, these beetles failed to roll their balls in straight lines under the stars. And the question then is, what parts of the night sky do dung beetles actually use to roll their dung beetles in straight lines? Is it those few stars that they're actually able to see? Or could it possibly be the broad stripe of light in the Milky Way?
Well, luckily, the nearby Johannesburg Planetarium could help us find the answer. The show's now changed. The next weeks, the shows they showed in the planetarium were specifically designed to entertain the beetles and allowed us to ask these animals, can you still orient if we show you only a handful of bright stars? What happens? Can you navigate if we show you 4,000 dim stars? And what happens if we take away, for example, the Milky Way? This is what we then finally understood.
And it turns out that dung beetles are completely lost if there's no Milky Way. Actually, it turns out that the Milky Way is absolutely necessary for dung beetles to be able to roll their balls of dung in a straight line. And this is actually the very first time it's been shown that an insect can use the stars for orientation. Since then, other nocturnal insects, like night migratory moths, are able also, or have also been discovered to be able to use the stars for navigation. But it was this discovery in dung beetles over a decade ago that was actually a watershed moment in Ig Nobel history for the developing field of astrobiology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a request. Could you, people probably could not see the detail of your Ig Nobel Prize. That was their Ig Nobel Prize. Could you explain that in just a moment? What the prize is?
What was the request?
To explain our Ig Nobel Prize.
Oh, okay. Yes. This was the prize in 2013 when the team was force.
Yes, and it says here, you can see there's a glass box with a hammer inside, and it says, in case of emergency, use the hammer to break the glass.
Great, thank you. Our next and final Ig Nobel Prize winner has come from Rotterdam in the Netherlands. He is an ornithologist. He studies birds. Until recently, he was the director of the Natural History Museum in Rotterdam. Many years ago, he noticed something, and that led eventually to his Ig Nobel Prize. Please welcome Kees Moeliker.
Yeah, this is the Natural History Museum in Rotterdam, where I worked for 37 years. And it's a beautiful piece of architecture. And in 1995, we got this new wing. It's made of glass, completely made of glass. And as a curator of birds, this glass extension was a gold mine for our collection. And that's because birds don't get the concept of glass. They crash into it and get killed. Worldwide, billions of birds annually. But for me as a bird curator, it was kind of fun because I told myself, well, every bird that crashes into this building will get a place in the collection. And then it became fun for me. And in those years, back in 1995, I developed an absolute ear for the sounds birds make when they crash into the glass. I could distinguish a gull from a blackbird and a robin from a great tit. But on June 5th, 1995, I heard a tremendous loud bang against the window of my office. And when I looked out of the office, I saw this. The bird that crashed into the building was a mallard duck. It fell down, but next to the dead duck was a live duck. Then this happened. The live duck mounted the dead duck and started to copulate. Well, I'm a biologist, I'm an ornithologist. One is dead, one is alive. There is copulation. Must be necrophilia. So my teachers did not tell me this. So I took a chair, I took my notebook, I took a camera, and I started to observe this behavior. I could do this for 75 minutes. And after 75 minutes, I had seen enough. I'd taken notes, got my pictures, and I went outside to collect this dead duck. And here is the proof the victim was indeed of the male sex. Here you see the duck's penis. I see some faces now that are shocked. Are you people in Lund not familiar with genital morphology in birds? No? Well, just a quick one. There are 10,000 species of birds in the world. Only 300 possess a penis. Among them, the ducks, the swans, and the geese. So this was a clear case of, and if we look back, homosexual necrophilia. Yeah? So, I saw something new. My teachers did not tell me this, but I didn't know what to do. I had no framework. I talked about it at the pub, at birthday parties, in the coffee machine, but I could not share it with my peers. But after 6 years, my friends and colleagues urged me to publish. So I took again my notes and I wrote it down, the first case of homosexual necrophilia in the mallard. Here is the situation. A is my office, B is where the duck hit the glass, and C is from where I observed it. Here are the ducks again. Well, this paper was published in 2001. Well, as you know, as a scientist, only 6 or 7 people read it, then it's history. Not this paper. I got an email from Mark Abrams, telling me that I'd won a prize with my paper. I said immediately, yes, I want this prize. I'd never won a prize. So I went to Harvard to collect my prize. And here's my moment of fame. And it's my pleasure here in Lund to present to you. It's not the first time in Sweden, but here is the duck. And I'm happy to show it here. Wow. Yeah, if you want to know more, I wrote a couple of books, and there is a book called The Duck Guy. It's translated not yet into Swedish, but it will probably happen after this talk. Thank you very much.
Case. Thank you, Case. All right, the afternoon is nearing an end. We have just a few things left. I'm going to ask all of the Ig Nobel Prize winners to come and stand up here next to each other. And for about 5 minutes, if you have questions, raise your hand and we will try to answer your questions. Ig Nobel winners? Okay. And bananas? Yeah. Bananas, if you can help us time it and know when to finish at 5 minutes. Great, thank you. Okay. And also feel free to throw paper airplanes if you like. Only paper airplanes. If you have a question for anybody, please raise your hand. This will be the only time in your life you see this collection of people and get to talk to them.
There's down there 2 questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a microphone that will come to you.
How do you figure out that you want to study this, like, even do research about these topics?
Let's start with the dung beetles.
I'd say it's full bore curiosity and very little else.
From our side, this wasn't fun. I mean, we almost threw away the email getting told that we had won the Ig Nobel Prize, because we were dead serious. But from the outside, I can see hats and planetarium shows are entertaining. But it was part of a much larger project. Just part of a big project.
Studying animal navigation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mina?
Yep. Mine was driven by my students' curiosity, and of course that intermingled with my curiosity. So a lot of my dark triad research is done in collaboration with third-year psychology dissertation students, and they are all quite different. So it's always the dark triad and then something else, like correlating that with the personality. And we did not think that it was funny at all. Like, it was dead serious work, and we were quite surprised and really pleased when we won the Ig Nobel, but it was serious psychology work.
Yeah. Case?
Well, I was just lucky. I was I was at the right place at the right moment with a prepared mind, and I did what my teachers told me to do. When you see something that you don't know, make notes and observe it. So that's what I did.
Yeah. I want to mention something that we have seen happen many, many, many times. Again, it's been 35 years with 10 winners a year. The winners are secret until they're introduced on stage. So the winners do not know who the other 9 winners are. What happens quite often at the end of the ceremony, after the end of the ceremony, some of the winners will come up to me one at a time and say, "Those other 9 prizes, those are so funny. How do you find them? But why did you give a prize to us?" And this keeps happening. And I'm mentioning this because I think this is an extremely human thing that happens to everybody. No matter what you're doing, I know a lot of you are in high school now. Think back to the very first day you went to high school, how different that was from anything in your life before that. And how you have stories probably from the first day, the first few days, but you don't have so many stories from the second day or the next week or the next month because it's ordinary. And I think that happens to anybody, no matter what you're doing, no matter how shocking it was to you when you began, you very quickly come to see it as just, it's what I do. It's ordinary. So you might keep that in mind. Some of you who are in high school are going to be scientists, and you're going to be studying things you have never heard of. And you will find that if you have discussions with your relatives, say at a Christmas party, and your grandparents really want to know, hey, I really want to know what you do as a scientist every day. And you start to tell them, I'm sure every scientist here has had this experience, and you see this look of horror come over their face because they have no idea what you're doing. And in that case, of course, it's good to get some practice talking in normal language, not in scientist super technical language, as in the 24/7 lectures. Next question?
I noticed that there was a bunch of stripes on your notes that you'd taken during the copulation of the ducks.
Yes.
Are there any other examples of necrophilia with birds?
Yes. Yes. It's all over there. You can even watch it here in Lund if you pay attention. Look at the city pigeons, especially the ones that got killed by cars. It happens, and it turned out to be, I mean, it's not really common, of course. If this was common, there wouldn't be any birds left. But still, you can observe it. It's a matter of position and the time of year. So if it's spring, the hormones are right, and the position in which the bird or the mammal died is normal to the position they have in copulation, then it can happen anytime. Yep.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to ask a question and not get an answer because we have no time? Okay. All right. In the back there, if you could not ask your question, that would be great. Thank you. Thank you, Benet. This is not exactly a question. Somebody yesterday mentioned to me something that I find baffling. I don't understand it. They said there is, I think, a politician in Sweden who has a banana phobia. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't want to embarrass anybody. I really don't. But is there anyone else here who has a banana phobia?
Me, after these shows.
Okay, thanks. Have a seat. I have one more thing I want to tell you about.
Now it's...
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we're going to have another speech and then something. And yeah. No, that comes afterward. Case. Yeah. Okay. This will only take about 5 minutes. Yeah. I want to tell you about a prize we gave in the year 2000 and became very famous, especially in the world of psychology. It's a psychology paper. It was written by 2 psychologists whose names are now very famous in the psychology world and far beyond. Their names are Dunning and Krueger. Has anyone heard of the Dunning-Krueger effect? It's been in the news the last couple of years. This is their paper by Dunning-Krueger. It's called, I'll read you the title, Unskilled and Unaware of It, How Difficulties in Recognizing One's Own Incompetence Lead to Inflated Self-Assessments. Let me read that to you again. Unskilled and unaware of it, how difficulties in recognizing one's own incompetence lead to inflated self-assessments. I mentioned that every year we write a little opera, a mini opera about something in science, and that's performed as part of the Ig Nobel ceremony, performed by professional opera singers and Nobel laureates. They don't sing, they have non-singing parts. I became really fascinated by this study, Dunning-Krueger, so I wrote an opera a few years ago about it, and I'm going to play you one of the songs from that opera. This is the Dunning-Krueger song. It's fiction. The main character who will be singing, not this person, the main character who will be singing is a psychologist. He walks into a pub, walks into a bar where he's a stranger, decides he's going to explain the Dunning-Krueger effect to all these strangers. And you're going to see him explain the Dunning-Krueger effect, and you're going to see how the people in the bar react, the people who work there and the other customers. Can we have the lights down? Is that possible?
Psychologists have shown that people unskilled at something somehow do not know their own incompetence. No! Incompetence. Some people's own incompetence somehow gives them a stupid sense that anything they do is first rate. They think it's great. But no, it's not. The research clearly shows such people's perceptions as a distraction.
And that's the Dunning-Krueger song. Just want to tell you one more thing. There's a very big change that's happening this year with the Ig Nobel Prizes. We are moving the ceremony from Massachusetts, where it's been for 35 years, to Europe. And I'll tell you why. Every year, almost all of the winners come from around the world. We have no money, so they had to pay their own way to get there from wherever they were. And if they want to go home, they had to pay their way back too. And almost every winner would do that. But last year was different. Last year, you've been seeing in the news about what's happening in the US, and it's a lot worse than what you've been seeing in the news. Last year, last September was the most recent ceremony. One of the 10 winners told us immediately, we're happy to win the prize, but there is no way we're going to travel to the United States. But all the others surprised us and said, yeah, we know there are some problems, but we're going to come. And then in a week or so, just before the ceremony, 3 others changed their mind and said, this is too dangerous. We're not coming. Things have, how do I put this, gotten worse recently, a lot. And this year, we are pretty sure almost none of the winners would want to travel to the US. And we, and I in particular, would not feel comfortable inviting anybody to travel to my country right now, maybe in the future. Fortunately, we'd been talking with a bunch of people in different parts of the world who'd been saying, you know, some year maybe the Ig Nobel ceremony will move to our city. And so this happened 3 months ago. So I got in touch with a bunch of those people. We were having discussions with people in Zurich, Switzerland, and Berlin, Germany, and Paris, France, and Tokyo, Japan, and Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And the people in Zurich were so eager to have this happen that they very quickly got together all the resources and lots of help to make this happen. So this year, September 3rd, it's a Thursday night, the ceremony, this will be the 36th first annual Ig Nobel Prize ceremony, will happen in Zurich, Switzerland. I hope you'll join us. It will be webcast. We have been webcasting the ceremony since 1995. We later learned that that was one of the first things ever webcast of any kind. We were not trying to invent webcasting. It's a longer story. We're looking for people to help us. We're figuring out how we move all this stuff. And the plan has already become grander. So here's the plan for the next few years and maybe beyond. We plan to have the ceremony every September in Zurich, Switzerland, in even-numbered years, starting with this year. In odd-numbered years, every year we plan to move it to a different city. And at the start, mostly in Europe. So it's going to be bouncing back and forth between Zurich and other cities. And in that way, it'll be a little bit like the Eurovision Song Contest. And I want to invite you to do what a lot of people have done all these years, which is have a little party, a little web-watching party with your friends, or a big party if you want to, in a hall. And maybe invite some local Ig Nobel Prize winners to say a couple of words. And if you have any Nobel Prize winners in the neighborhood, invite them to say a couple of words. You know, don't invite people to do anything that's a hell of a lot of work for them, just something that's unusual and fun. So that's the news. You can find everything about all this on our website, improbable.com. And that's almost all I've got to say. At the very end, I'll say a couple of words. And now we have some quick things for you.
Before we're going to listen to Alltid-kamreren again, who was playing for you in the beginning, we will have a goodbye speech as well by Björn Lundberg and Kerstin Enflo. You know the titles, yeah, I don't have to take them again. Here you go.
Goodbye. Goodbye.